Hey, welcome to my page. I am not American. Wagwan, what you saying? South London and that? No? Hey, welcome to my page. I'm Jay Slay. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm really excited to be filming my very first video, which will be dropping on Valentine's Day, the day of love. So love me, show me love. Subscribe to my channel, like my shit, comment and that, follow me on the socials. I just thought it'd be cool to have a little introduction and just say, hey, yeah, let's get going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my primer. I'm using the Ordinary High-adherence Silicone primer. I would put it up to the camera, but it's hella dirty, so I'm just going to have to take my word for it. Does this get easier? Because I'm feeling hella awkward right now. So I just slap it on. I am no professional by any means, so I am a slapper on. Just get it all over my face. And then for my foundation, I am a firm believer in the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I use the colour Spice Sand, and it is a really good fit for me, which I really struggle with. Obviously, any lighties out there know that our shade is very underrepresented in the market, and a lot of the colours that we can get tend to oxidise and turn orange, which is obviously not a look I want to go for, especially on my bay date. So I just get a little bit of that. I really should get a pump, but you know how it is out here in South London, we had a tube, so I just get a little bit on my hand and just dab it on my face and then I blend it in, which is really good because I don't know how I would live without foundation when my skin is this spotted. So it's actually a really good colour match for me. Which, like I said, I really struggle with. They're usually either a little bit too light, a little bit too orange, or just way off, like really bad. So I found with the NYX one, they go orange after like 10 minutes, it's awful. But this one is perfect. I need a little bit more. Because I obviously underestimated how big my face was. By the way, this is my first recording and my friend is sitting behind the camera, so if I ever look hella awkward, it's because I'm looking at her face and she's looking at my face and we're having that facial interaction, which is a little bit too much for me to cope with. So foundation is on. So now what I will do with that is I always like to start, I know a lot of people like to do their eyes first, and I don't really understand that, to be honest. Unless you're a really messy person, I think you can get away with doing it this way without getting eyeshadow all over your face. So I tend to do this, and then what I will do is I put my concealer on underneath my eye, and then I put my baking powder on, and while my baking powder is baking, I then do my eyes. So I'm using the Revolution Conceal and Define in C10, which is a shade a little bit too light for me, but obviously when it comes to under your eyes, you do want to go lighter to highlight. You want to make them look more youthful. So I just do little triangles like so. I like to really get in the crease, otherwise I'll miss it because it's quite hard to get into there. And then I spray my beauty blender, and then I just blend that out, making sure I really get into my under eye line because that can hold quite a lot of darkness in there. So just dab that across. I find when it comes to the concealer, dabbing is the best way. It gets good coverage, it gets into all the nooks and crannies, and it doesn't leave you with any lines. It's just a good way to blend it out. If you catch me with my mouth open, I can't help it. Sometimes when I'm concentrating, it just flies open. Don't judge me. I've got quite a deep crease here, so I really have to go to work on that bit. Otherwise it sticks out like a sore thumb. And then with what's left over on my beauty blender, I was going to call it a dabber. It's not a dabber. It's a beauty blender. I just go over these little two bits here. And then, as I explained before, I then bake underneath my eyes. I use the Obsessions baking powder, which is super cheap. A lot cheaper than I thought would be any good. But it is actually a really good baking powder. I'm quite surprised when I bought it. I was really into buying the Beauty Bakery one, but I can't seem to buy them when they're actually in stock. And I kind of refused to buy Huda Beauty one because of all the drama around the fact that she stole the whole Beauty Bakery stuff. But we won't talk about that. It's my first video. I'm not trying to get thrown off. I'm not trying to get people trying to get me out of here and that. So I just get a little bit on there and spread it out. And I really like to get in there. I must look so mad right now. My friend's just like, I'm not going to take any tips from you still. She will. Imagine when I get a man, he's going to have to sit here and like watch me do this. He's going to think this is all nuts too. By the way, man who's not my man, if you're watching this, don't watch this. Just turn it off. You don't need to know how it all happens. You just need to know that it all comes together. Now we're talking in that. So I just leave that on there for a little while. And I always like to also do this little bit here, which is quite a hard bit to get. So I have to really get some good powder on there. Because it helps to define your cheekbones. When you put your powder on with your bronzer, it helps to define your cheekbones because it's got the contrast, so it helps to make it pop. So I just put that on there and I follow just underneath my cheekbone. So when I blend it out, I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbours are listening to some different music. Actually, it might be Afro beats, it's all good. I'm not allowed to play music because, you know, music writer, so I'm here for it, I'm not gonna lie. So I just leave that on there for a little while to bake, and then I start with my eyebrows, which I hit and miss every single day. So I've recently bought the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in Ash Brown. I was previously using the Manali Dark Brown, which is kind of a really good dupe. With both of them, they, after a very short time, start to go quite hard and difficult to use. I just kept spraying it when I went in to use it, to be honest, and just mixed it up and using it. But I recently started using the Anastasia Beverly Hills just to see whether it is actually any better. I'll let you know. I think probably they're exactly the same, just a very different price. Well, I think one's like 18 and one's 13. But, you know, every little counts. So I get a little bit on my brush. Don't judge my brush, actually. I don't know where it's come from, but I enjoy it, so I'm going to use it. but it's just basically a slanted precision brush. And then I always start on the outer edges because I want them to be darker than anywhere else. And if I've got too much, it doesn't really bother me because that will just set the tone for the rest of the eyebrow. And then I just come in under here and go up. I'm not too fussed about the fact that I really messed it up because I will go over that with concealer, so it's all good. I wouldn't worry too much. It's not that deep. Just try and follow the line of your eyebrow as much as possible. And I always like to not go too deep on the inside, so I prefer it to be graduated and a lot darker on the outside. Like, I've really messed this up. I'm wondering if we can cut this. We won't, it's fine. I again used a confining conceal in C10 for my underbrow because you obviously want that to be slightly lighter. And I just go along the underline. I think eyebrows are mad because it took me a really long time to start doing eyebrows in this way. And I used to have a friend who used to do it exactly like this. And she used to take hours. And I used to always judge her because I was like, why do you need to do this? It makes no sense. Your eyebrows look fine. And now I do it. It doesn't take me 2 hours, don't get me wrong. I'm not making people wait. But I really understand what she was doing now. She was a trendsetter. She knows who she is. She's still a waste man though. So I just follow the line of my eyebrow. And then I blend it out. I feel like maybe they're watching Nollywood downstairs because it sounds hella dramatic. And there you have one underbrow. I always do use my blender just to blend it out, just to make sure that you don't get any streaks, because there's nothing worse than bad blending. We've all seen it. I don't want to be that guy. And then on the top of my brow, I use a C11 in the Define and Conceal and Define as well. Again, from Makeup Revolution. You don't want to use a lighter one when you're going over the top of your eyebrow because that needs to blend into your forehead. You don't want to make it look too obvious. So I prefer to use 2 different shades. The C11 is more actually matched to my skin tone. And then I blend that out again. But it just makes it much more crispy. So that's one eyebrow down. Now for the other one, the very shit one right now. Okay, so now we have sisters, not identical, but sisters, because I couldn't make them identical today and apparently the rule is that they're not meant to be identical, so we'll go with that. So for eyeshadow, obviously it's a Valentine's Day look. So what I'm planning on doing It's kind of a sultry red cut crease with a kind of pinky gold inner bit. I had to explain it better than that. So I'm gonna start here. This is actually, I'm a big fan of Makeup Revolution, as you will probably tell as you get to know me. And this is their rose gold palette. Yeah, chocolate rose gold. And I'm going to use, what colour am I going to use? I think I'm going to use this colour, which according to this unattached piece of rubbish is called which is what I thought when I messed up my eyebrows earlier. And I'm just going to go over the eyelid. My Urban Decay brush is my favourite brush for eyebrows. It is the best double-ended brush I have, and I swear by it. So you will probably see this appearing in every video. And I just go around above my crease and into the eyebrow bit with the red, and then I blend from the outside. Cut creases are alright, you don't need to be bang on it because obviously you're going to conceal on the inside. So you can just kind of get all up in there. And you want to make sure you do go over this bit here as well. Usually I'm not a big fan of getting eyeshadow on this inner bit here because I think for me my eye shape is a bit too much. But I think when you're doing a cut crease you really want to accentuate the fact that it is a cut crease. So I do go a little bit more in on the inner bit. Now I do the same on the other eye. I know some people really like to do like one eye at a time and complete that eye and then carry on. I'm not that person. I can't do that. I strive for perfection, and I find if I don't do it all at the same time, I will not remember what I did. So I have to do it all at the same time because I'm a forgetful little bean. And then, I don't know where I got these brushes from. I think probably just from eBay because I'm hella cheap. I'm not out here. I don't make a lot of money-ish right now. So it's sore subject. We won't talk about it. But I bought this pack from eBay and it was quite good. It must have been like a tenner. I probably don't imagine me spending much more than that on it. But it's quite a good range of brushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Side Chick because that's the best Valentine's Day theme, which is this colour here. And I'm going to use that on the outer bits as well just to deepen the colour in my crease. So yeah, like I said, just going over that bit there and making sure you blend it out. You don't want anything to be too harsh. You just want it to be there. Okay? Okay? So, now what I'm going to do is I am going to create my cut crease with, again, my favourite concealer, which is the Conceal and Define in C10. So I just get a bit of that on my brush. Help if I have the right side. And I don't agree with going straight in to the edge because you don't know how much product you've got on your brush and whether it's too much. So you should really start here and then go into your crease when you know that you haven't got too much excess on your brush. And then just follow your natural eyeline crease over. So of course, because it's a cut crease, you don't have to have an exact science to it because you're going to cover your concealer with more eyeshadow anyway. So you don't need to make sure it's all completely even. You just need to basically outline your edge so you know where you're going. And then you'll do the same on the other eye. And try to match it up as evenly as possible. Okay. So now you have cut out your creases. Now you want to cover your concealer, and it should stick really, really well because obviously you've got a concealer there which is of a different consistency. It's obviously a cream, so your powder should stick really well to it. So that's all good. Again, with my Urban Decay favourite brush, I am going to use my Juvias Place palette in Zulu, which has this here, which I've clearly used an awful lot. It doesn't say the names of the colours, so I'm just going to call it like rose gold or something because I can. So this colour right here, and you just get some on your brush. You only really want to get it on one side, so you don't want to go in with all that. You want to get it on one side so you can use it to follow the line the same way you did with your concealer. So get it on one side, tap it, you don't want too much, and then just follow your line and cover it with the eyeshadow. It is blowing a gale out there, honestly. Okay, not bad, right? This is a really good colour. I really love Juvias Place. I think they are a brilliant brand. Every single eyeshadow I've used of theirs is super pigmented and it's just beautiful. I love their yellow. I use their yellow and orange an awful lot. I don't use a lot of the other colours because yellow and orange are my favourite, but I just think the pigment on the palettes are brilliant. So if anyone can buy them, they're a really good price. I will list below my palette and how much it costs, and if I can find the link I will send it to you. But I swear by them. I think their eyeshadows are beautiful. And now the final part of your cut crease is to blend it out to your edges. So usually I prefer to use a darker colour when I'm doing this. So I would probably go for a kind of brown, just because it will provide the contrast that you need. So I'll use the Zulu palette again and I'll use this brown colour up here. And that just finishes off my eye shadow. Okay. So now we move on to eyeliner. I'm an all matte everything kind of person. So I use the NYX matte eyeliner, and I'm a big lover of flicks. I love a flick. I don't think the eye is really complete without a flick, so it's very rare that I don't do them. So I'm gonna have to get a bit closer right now because I need to concentrate. Can you see me? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start on the inner corner. I like to start around here because if I get, again, too much on my brush, it doesn't really matter too much. I think when you're coming down into this region, you don't ever want to have too much on your brush because you can't control it. And it can just go awfully wrong real quick. So I like to start around here and then move into my corner with light strokes, so I can really control how deep I want that line to be, or thick. And then I move on to the outer bit. I'm going to warn you in advance, I will always come back and edit this eye because this eye never goes right. So this is not the finished product. Even though this eye is always my favourite one, there's not much I can do about it. And then just sweep it up in the corners. I like to do my initial line and sweep out and then come up to meet it with the bottom. So I go from the corner up to meet the top line that I created. And then I just want to sweep out the line and make sure it all meets. Okay. And then we do the other eye, which is almost always going to go wrong. So I've got this brush, blending brush. This is not what I use. I want to use this Morphe brush. I don't know what one it is. It was one of the cheaper ones, and they don't put numbers and shit on the cheaper ones, but this is one of like the fluffy brushes. That's all I got. And I will just go underneath and blend out that powder just to get rid of any excess. And I'll do it here as well, just with circles, because it makes it go way easier. We don't want an obvious line, we just want it to be subtle. So we circle that out. And I also like to go over that with setting spray, which is sprayed on my blender, just to make sure that I haven't left any unnecessary creases. I'm getting old, so I have to watch out for these creases, and at 26 is kind of hard for me. And then, now that's done, I will put my mascara on. I'm just using this tiny little one because it came in the box that I got. It's the Benefit Roller Lash. I swear by Benefit Roller Lash is my favourite. Obviously I'm going to put eyelashes on because otherwise it'll be a dead look. But I always put some mascara on. Otherwise it doesn't blend very well because your eyelashes are like white. And you have to be careful of the inner ones because obviously your eyelashes generally don't go from end to end. They generally look better going further out and then stopping kind of on their way in. So you want to grab your small hairs and you want to put eyeshadow, mascara on them, so they're actually visible and it blends better. There's nothing worse than having a line where your eyelashes stop. I hate that. I mean, some people might like it, each their own, but it ain't for me. So just a bit there. And now we've got that out of the way. Just a little bit of eyeshadow on the bottom, not too much when it comes to red or pinks. You don't really want to put them on the bottom too much. I find for me that it actually makes my eyes look very tired. So I'm quite careful not to do that. But a little bit of pink because it's Valentine's Day and because why not, right? So if I just put a little bit of pink there. This again is the Zulu palette by Juvias Place, and I'm going to use this pink right here and get this hair out of my face. Yeah, it's kind of cute. I don't look too tired. Could be much worse. But if I did look that tired on my bay day, at least I wouldn't have to do anything after if I was too tired at the time, innit? You see? Tactics. Use makeup to get out of bay stuff. Cute. And then eye mascara at the bottom, because I actually love mascara in my bottom lashes. Some people have really nice bottom lashes, mine are just average, regular, but I love them anyway. I'm like, come out with me guys, come on, we'll put on your mascara, we'll have a good time. And now I do want to put my eyelashes on first. I like wispies, I love. So I'm going to use these Ardell wispies. I think they'll be a good one for today. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to use the Doll Lash ones. I've used these before, but I think they're really cute. And they're really long, so that's always helpful. So I'm going to use these ones. These are the Doll Lash ones. They are Frenchie, and they were £10. They better last me. I'm going to wear them forever and ever. Amen. And I've got my Duo glue. I don't know anyone else that uses different glue from Duo. I think they're brilliant. I did buy the Huda Beauty black lash glue, but I thought I was too messy, so I've never actually used it. So I just glue around the edges. Okay, so I just put it obviously on the edge, and then I'll put that down somewhere, because obviously everyone knows, or you might not know, I'm educating you, who knows, but you need to let the glue kind of tack a little bit, so you don't want to put it straight in your eye. So just line your band with the eyelash glue. I probably always put too much on, but that's because I'm too fast. So just enough to cover it. You don't want to put too much. And then I put them down because I can't be trusted not to touch them and get it stuck to my finger. So I put them down and I leave them a minute. Okay, so I am now going to put my eyelashes on because I've given them enough time. They should be ready. Just a little bit of luck. You know how eyelashes can be little bitches and that. So this will be my right eye. So I'm just gonna put it on there. These have quite a thick band, so I have to be quite careful because thick bands are quite hard to manipulate once they're there. You kind of have to really give them a bit of that, otherwise they don't want to mold to your eye. And once on, it is massive, isn't it? But I like it. Once it dries a little bit, I tend to push them down a bit, so they go more out than up. I don't really like the whole up in your face look, but whatever, we still gonna be cute. It's actually itching just right there. It's a bit much still. And then we'll do the other one. So now we have ridiculous eyelashes on, which will blow my haters away. Or my exes, because it's Valentine's, isn't it? Blow them exes away. Our chat shit get banged. South East London, what? Now I want to... Gum fingers in the air, and what? Now I want to give my cheekbones the kind of, you know? That's what I want to do right there. That's exactly what I meant. So I'm using the ABH Contour Tip. I'm using the ABH Contour Kit, which obviously I've had for quite a while because you could not tell from looking at it that it's from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I tend to go across these two. These two are my favourites. I'm sorry. No one loves you that much. But these two, and I just get a little bit in there. And then just curve it on. Again, this is another thing where, like everything else, you do want to be careful of how much you get on your brush, and there's always ways to kind of start where it kind of matters a lot less to have a lot on there. So it doesn't really matter too much if you get a lot up here, because first of all, it's probably going to be hidden by your hair, and second of all, that's kind of a good place to have quite a dark contour, but you don't want to have it too dark coming down here. So I always start up here and go down in circles down to my apple. I'm not really a blusher person, so I don't really get all up in here with blusher. I prefer to contour down here. So I will go in circles and I will take it over my apple as well. Am I looking like a Kardashian yet? Because surely, come on. I'm joking. I'm not a professional getting paid to do anyone's makeup. I'm just me. And the same goes for this side. Circles down to the mid. Down to the apple. You're the apple of my eye. I'm sorry. My friend's fully tapped out now. She's just like, I'm done with this bitch. And if you really want to make sure you're getting the line right, you can do this really ugly face that I like to do sometimes. I don't need to do that because I know in it, but if you need it, do it. Just suck them cheeks in. And again with the Anastasia Beverly Hills, just to, like I say, I want the line to be accentuated. I go over these two lighter contours here. I use both of them. I'm a both of everything kind of person. I can never choose, and I want one of them to get FOMO, so I'll use two. And I just go over the outer line there and blend it down a little bit. And around the eyes, because we're getting old. Fill them creases in, you get me? And up here a little bit. A lot of people like to contour around their hairline. I'm not that big on it, I'm not gonna lie. I really like contour. I don't like to do the most, just a little bit, you get me? Okay, so now I would spray. I like to spray before I do my lipstick. Don't ask me why, it's just my preference. So I've been using the NYX Dewy Finish one. I've always been a matte person, but for some reason recently I've gone a bit dewy. So I'm going to use this on my whole face. So, close eyes. I really said that shit. Just fan it. Just keep fanning it, because obviously your face is hella wet right now. That will dry eventually when it feels like it. I like to put my highlighter on after, because I think it picks up the pigments a lot better. I'm yet to find, I'm not big on putting a lot of highlighter on, so I'd rather use a little bit that actually does a lot. So I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit Sun Dipped one. And I'm going to use Moonstone, which is this one right here. Can you see that? Yeah. And I'm just going to go over this bit here. Oh! Kill him! And on my nose, because that's what bitches do. And right here. Sound like Peter Griffin. And I would like to use, this is a random Morphe brush. It doesn't matter what brush, but I'm going to use a bit of Summer. And I'm just going to use that on my eyebrow line right there. And a little bit above the eyebrow as well. Because a bit of highlight or a lot of highlight ain't never hurt nobody. You see me? Highlighting, stunting on them. My friend thinks I'm a dickhead. Okay, now for the lips, which should always finish your face. I'm thinking maybe this one. So I'm going to use the NYX lingerie. Why did I say lingerie? It's not right. It's lingerie. For anyone that doesn't know, when it says lingerie, it's lingerie. I'm going to use that in colour 04, which will probably be quite light for me, but I can line it if it's bad. We'll see. Ah, it's a nice nude. Aww. Okay, and then I give that some time to dry. Oops, went a little bit too over there. And then that's kind of just my face. So now I think I'm gonna do my hair. So to finish my look, as suggested by Bestie behind the camera, I'm just gonna run a few curls through my hair. Obviously I don't expect you to sit through that, so we'll fast forward that and I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so that is my finished look. I'm just gonna pull obviously the curls out a little bit because I like it to be a little bit loose and wavy. That two-sword or tussled or whatever the hell that stupid word is, look where it just looks really cute. And I kind of woke up like this. No? It's gonna show up and I'm gonna be like, yeah, you know, well, I just woke up from sleep and I just thought I'd chuck a little bit of makeup on. But that's exactly the look we want to give. So this is my finished Valentine's Day look. This is where I do that really awkward thing, right? Where I'm like, I'm not doing it, it's too awkward. So yeah, this is me now. Thanks for watching my first video. I'm so excited to be on the YouTube community now, so I hope you subscribe below. I should have said that at the start. I'm gonna say that at the start too, but you probably won't see this if people don't watch the end. Well, it is what it is. But if you could subscribe to the below channel, I'm going to put all the details of the look I've created today below. Also, if you could like and comment anything that you want to say, if you have any questions, if you think I'm a bit of a dickhead, whatever it is, just pop it down below. Interaction would be great. Follow me on my socials, which should come up on the screen now. I'm at Slay. Thanks for watching.